The views and opinions expressed on the Veterans in Politics show and podcast are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of Vegas All Night Radio, its affiliates, or its parent company.
We're back. This is Steve Sanson and Karen Steelmon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Karen runs the patriotic show on KLAV. You want to plug that?
It's called We the People. It's on Wednesday nights at 7.
We the people, not our people, not my people, but we.
Not the government's people,
but we the people.
We the people.
That's right. So you guys need.
We are we the people.
Yeah. Are you going to be interrupting me the whole show, Karen?
Absolutely.
Oh, hell.
You invited me, remember?
That's true.
You forgot that I was a host, too.
Because Jim Jonas...
sits over here and very quietly, meekly lets you speak all the time. Yes, I know. I've watched him.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
Jim Jonas is not here today, folks. He had a work schedule that came up, so he has to be doing that instead. But before we get into the rants, I just want to say the two guests that are coming on is Ann Zimmerman, Las Vegas Justice of the Peace.
Yay, woo, yay.
Stan Vaughan, Independent American Party congressional candidate for Nevada's 1st District.
Yay, woo.
Okay. And you know something? You've been listening to this Ward 2 race?
Yes. That was going to be one of my rants. I'm glad you brought it up.
Wow. That was interesting. So, you know, the Veterans of Politics put out that press release, just wanted to echo what Judge Mosley said about Rick Truesdale, that he's the death to neighborhoods.
Well,
the death to neighborhoods.
I have to say that having sat on the panel that interviewed those candidates, there was only one other person that I thought would have been worse for the city of Las Vegas than Rick Truesdale.
And who's that?
The one we endorsed.
How dare you?
I know.
No, I think Christine Kazimka would have been a fine city council person.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
But
we endorsed her.
Yes, I know we did.
You can't slap up our endorsement winner.
It's a free country. I can do what I want.
My God.
Remember that you invited me.
Find you. No. Anyways.
That's my own personal opinion.
So once that email was sent out, press release was sent out actually, I get a call from no other than
Rick Truesdale.
No, prior to that, it was Stacy Truesdale, his daughter, and she has never called me in years. We helped her in the Ricky Barlow race. And
what year
Ricky
was
Barlow won. That was going back to, my God, that was about 4, 5,
wow,
6 years ago. I mean, I've ran into her, but she's never, ever called me. All of a sudden,
she's your best friend.
All of a sudden, she calls me and wants to know if I have a problem with her dad. I said, that's funny because Ricky Barlow called me and asked me if I had a problem with him when we endorsed you. You see how this politics is played? People want you to be on their side all the time, and the minute you stray, you're a bad person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They all politicians, all of my experience, all politicians forget that they're not in a race to win a prize. They're applying for a position, and
exactly.
the people. It's up to the people to decide who's going to hold that position. Yeah. And if they aren't chosen, then they have to deal with and accept the fact that the people did not choose them.
No, they're crybabies. They are worse than preschool children.
They're like superstars. They're just like rock stars. If they get voted in or they talk to you, they've deigned to speak to you. Now that they feel that you owe them a favor,
right?
And your favor is your vote. Well, I got a whole lot to say about that.
So, anyways, I get a voicemail from no other than Rick Truesdale asking me to remove him from the Veterans in Politics email list.
And did you?
I'm going to. I mean, I don't need him. Apparently, the city of Las Vegas don't need him.
Well, maybe he's just going into seclusion or something. I don't know. He didn't get voted in.
Right. And you know something? What I think it's taboo being on the planning commission, and trying to run for city council.
I think it's taboo to run for office after office after office after office.
But you know why I say that? Because I've seen it so many times. You have Byron Goins, who's been on the planning commission.
Right.
Twice he tries to run for city council, and twice the people said, "Not you." And then Steve Evans, who's on the planning commission, ran for city council, and the people says, "Not you." So Rick Truesdale, he's tried it twice because he ran against Steve Wolfson the first time, and now he's running against, and the people said, "Not you."
Those would be career politicians, right?
So basically, it might behoove of folks, if you're listening, if you want to be a city councilman, do not sit on the planning commission. It's simple math, But, I want to congratulate Bob Beers for his victory.
Yes, I second that.
He's going to be the new city councilman for Ward 2.
I liked a lot of what he had to say in the interview.
In a couple weeks. I believe it's next week, Wednesday, I think.
But my rant about the Ward 2 election is more about the citizens than it is about the candidates, actually, because there are, according to reports, 40,000 registered voters in Ward 2, and only about 5,000 voted. And if we keep having turnouts like that in elections, then people need to quit bitching when the people they don't want are elected.
40,000 registered voters? I know
43,000 registered voters.
There's
in Ward 2.
There's I forget, over 100,000 people live in Ward 2.
Well, maybe not all of them are registered voters.
Maybe some of them are illegals.
You think? Maybe that's why No, wait. Never mind.
Anyways, moving right along. Are we done with Ward 2 race?
Yeah, I'm done with the race. I'm not done with the citizens, though. I'm really disgusted with people.
Well,
really?
I'm disgusted with this guy named John Ralston.
Oh, really?
The Papa's Princess. Prince.
There's a shocker.
So I sent out this marketing piece, letting folks know that if they want to advertise, they want to do commercial, they could. And
on VANR.
For the talk show. And he goes, so you guys are selling your endorsement. What does that have anything to do with selling an endorsement?
Well, you do realize that he was one of the gifted children, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
He went to the special classes.
But you know something? He has this tweet account, or whatever you want to call it, that people have to subscribe to it.
Really?
And
you
pay.
have to pay?
And pay
to get his tweets?
Yeah. So
you have to pay to let John Ralston Twitter you?
Yeah. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Wow, I can't even imagine. And no wonder I took him off my email list.
And do you know how many times people actually purchase commercials? And people actually purchase commercials, and we didn't endorse their race because that's not how we do things.
Yeah, well, clearly, the people who are involved in the political arena are so unaccustomed to people actually having integrity and honor. They can't fathom when they see it. See where that...
that's probably his demise.
Exactly.
Then. You know what I call him? I don't call him. I told him that he's not a real journalist like Gary Waddell. I said that he's an entertainment journalist.
He's an entertainer.
He just puts on a show so people could be entertained.
Right.
So they get the ratings up. He reports half the news, like Steve Sanson was arrested on gun charges. But he doesn't report that, oh, by the way, those charges were dismissed. He's a free man. He got all his weapons back. He's good to go. He doesn't report the whole news. You see what I'm saying?
Well, if you read his stories aren't really full of news at all. They're full of what he considers to be witty retorts.
I know. And he doesn't even have all the candidates on his show. He just pick.
Yeah. Right, the ones that he likes.
The ones that he likes, or the ones that could advertise.
That's the trouble I got into a couple of weeks ago.
Or the ones that could advertise on the radio, on the television station. The ones that with money. He picks the ones with money.
And I know that. I actually know that you're kind of joking, but that is the truth. I know that personally. I've heard conversation between him and one other person, and they were sitting in a room full of it was a conservative meeting, and they were having a discussion on which one of those conservative people had the most money that could write them a check for.
You see, so he's projecting all his bullshit. Yeah. He's just projecting because he's full of it, and he's just thinking people are just like him. That's basically what he does.
Well, he's used to the arena. He's used to the political arena. And a lot of people, when they get involved in politics, turn exactly that same way, because it's all about money and fame and being a rock star. And
yeah, John Ralston only surrounds himself with people that could do things for him.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
don't see him talking to a busboy. No. Or a valet attendant.
Is he still in Vegas? He's in...
No, he's there.
Is he? I thought he went to Oklahoma or
Oh, and
Colorado.
by the way, he says that I'm threatening him in. But check this out. He says, you're threatening me. I'm not scared of you, but I have informed the Metro. So,
when did you threaten him?
I don't know.
When did he say you threatened him?
In his email. But you know something? If he's not scared, why is he informing Metro? And I've asked him many times to come out and meet me, and he's not doing that.
Oh, he don't want to talk to you face to face, because then you'd have to use, intelligence and facts and. So
John Ralston, you are a piece of work. That's all I'm going to say about that. So moving right along, we're doing the endorsement interviews. John Ralston, if you want to come and attend, on Saturday, March 31st at the Marine Corps Leatherneck Club for all the assembly candidates. And there are 85 assembly candidates that are running.
Out of town, really?
85 for Clark County. And now, I'm not talking about northern Nevada now. Just Clark County alone, there are 85 assembly candidates that are
Holy cow.
running.
And how many are we going to interview?
All 85 of them.
On Saturday?
Next Saturday, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, if they RSVP before
You didn't tell me
Tuesday.
This was going to be a marathon thing.
11:30 to 7:30.
Holy, I guess I should start reading your emails.
It would help. Karen Steelmon.
Well, I get your emails and I know what's going on, kind of. I just don't. I read the title.
Yeah.
Kind of like people read John Ralston's work.
I don't. And you know what? We going back to Ralston again. You know what? He doesn't even have the fortitude, the balls to send me these things he writes about me. I got to hear it through third party.
Yeah, I got the same thing a few days ago. But like I said, it's the situation when people get involved in politics. They're not used to dealing with people or groups with integrity and honor and honesty and actually fighting for an ideal. So, he's just an entertainer. He's still trying to be popular.
Oh, and he says VIP doesn't have credibility.
Oh, how'd you like the comment that he made about VIP not having membership, but or having few members, but he didn't get the membership list? So how the hell would he know?
He's guessing.
Well, it's funny because I had a room full of people on my show a few nights ago or a few weeks ago, and they were all VIP members.
Oh,
yeah! Imagine that.
You hear that, John? John is a piece of shit. Oh, did I? Oh no! Oh,
we were moving away from that subject, weren't we?
Did I say that about John Ralston, the crapola man?
So we have how many for assembly?
85.
85
in Clark County.
Because I'm looking and I don't see it down here anywhere.
No, it's not. It's not. You need to go to Clark County website.
It's clarkcountynv.gov right there.
No, not that one. The actual Clark County website, and go into the elections department. Do a little bit maneuvering.
clarkcounty.gov departments, elections documents.
That ain't working. I'll show you. Well, you have anything else before we take commercial break?
No, I'm good.
All right, you're good. Well, this is Steve Sanson and Karen Steelmon with Veterans in Politics. Don't go away, folks. We're going to be talking with Ann Zimmerman, the Las Vegas Justice of Peace.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Veterans in Politics International. The Veterans in Politics mission is to teach, educate, organize, and awaken our veterans and their families to select, support, and vote intelligently for a better world, and to protect ourselves from our own governments and a culture of corruption, and to be the political voice for those in other groups that do not have one.
There are too many homeless veterans, and more help is needed from the VA. Every veteran service organization post should adopt a local homeless veteran.
The funding of VA medical centers is inadequate, and building a VA hospital in southern Nevada is moving at a slow pace. The budget has been flatlined for too many years. The VA is too quick to deny claims and too slow to help veterans gather records in support of claims.
Local politicians ignore veterans and their issues. They perceive a lack of organization among their local veterans and that it won't hurt them at election time. Veterans too often vote party, not veteran issues. All veterans should vote in every election.
The news media give inadequate coverage to veteran issues and events. You must send letters to the editor and voice this concern.
Please contact your members of Congress and Senate and urge them to co-sponsor key legislation in supporting our veterans.
Please support Veterans in Politics. And to get more information, go to www.veteransinpolitics.com.
Hello, Las Vegas. I'm Karen Steelman, president of Las Vegas Tea Party, bringing your voice to the air Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Are you tired of politics as usual? Do you want to be more involved? Do you want to put a stop to out-of-control government policies? On We the People, we will discuss the political topics of the day and find real solutions. No parties, no labels, just Americans. Be here Wednesdays at 7 p.m. with We the People, where your voice is heard.
While growing up, I've always asked my family, who is my father? I was told the name of a man. When I became older, I looked for this man and found him. He thought that I was his son as well, but after a DNA test, it was discovered that my family was lying to me all my life. I pressured my family to give me the real identity of my father. I then became suspicious and took my grandfather's DNA. After I buried my grandfather, 2 days later I discovered that my grandfather was in fact my biological father. I questioned myself and asked, what is my purpose on this earth? I should have never been conceived. But when I look at my 4 children, I knew that everything happens for a reason. This is Steve Sanson. Find your identity.
Hello, my fellow Nevadans. Are you tired of listening to the same old rhetoric from politicians? I know I am. And that's why I'm running for Congress in Nevada's 4th District as a conservative. I'm Sidney Zeller, a retired Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel and veteran of 3 wars. I'm a proven leader and a man of honor, integrity, and character. My focus is on bringing economic prosperity to the 4th District. For more information on my positions, please visit my Facebook and website, SidZellerForCongress.com, paid for by Sid Zeller for Congress.
Well, we're back. Steve Sanson and
Karen Steelman. Sorry, my pants came undone.
Karen, this is not one of those shows.
It's a good thing it's a radio
that we have late at night, Karen. This is an afternoon show.
I lost so much weight. My pants are falling off.
What are you doing with the weight? You doing like Tebow or something? Tebow?
No. I hired a personal trainer here in Las Vegas.
Oh.
Ken Wegner. I mean, no. Ken.
You're supposed to be getting the heavier pants, the bigger size. If you hire Ken Wagner for your personal.
The only exercise he does is 12-ounce curls. No, Ken Whitney.
Oh, that is funny, Karen. Well, Karen, we have Ann Zimmerman, who is the Las Vegas Justice of the Peace. How you doing, Ann?
Hi, Ann. Great. Thank you for inviting me today.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was first elected to serve in Department 8 of Las Vegas Justice Court in the year 2000. I was successfully reelected in 2006, and I'm here today in 2012 seeking reelection because I'm fortunate enough to love the job that I'm elected to do.
So you've been on the bench for 11 years now?
I'm in my 12th year.
Oh, you're 12.
Could you tell us a little bit about what you did before you were a judge?
Yes. I graduated from law school in Kansas City, Missouri, and went to work for the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office there in Kansas City, Missouri. Stayed there for about a year and a half, then I moved out here to Las Vegas because back in 1991, Las Vegas was a great legal market. I went into private practice here. I practiced criminal defense and family law. I then went to the Attorney General's office for 3 years and then ran for office in 2000.
What do you mean by great political market?
No, great legal market.
Oh, sorry. Oops.
Yeah,
because a lot of politicians do move here because...
With the Ken Wagner personal trainer.
Nevada's an easy state to become a politician in.
Well, back in 1991, there was no law school in the entire state of Nevada. So there weren't a lot of lawyers either.
Wow, I'm glad I didn't need a lawyer back then.
Well,
goodness.
In Kansas City, Missouri, there was probably a dozen law schools in the 4-state area. So
wow.
So you ran the first time in 2000. Did you have any opposition?
It was a new seat, so there were 6 people in the race.
Uh-huh. And you haven't ran elections since then?
Yes, I ran in 2006. I had 2 opponents in that race.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Ah. So why do you think you drew another opponent in 12?
I think part of it is due to the economy. You know, when you speak to a lot of lawyers, they're struggling with their practices.
Okay. So you think that that's the only reason?
Well, I mean, I don't know why my opponent's chosen to run against me. You'd have to ask her that.
Okay. Let me ask you something. How many hours does it take to be a judge here in Las Vegas Township?
You mean per day?
Per week.
Per week? Well, you start between 7:30 and 8 in the morning. You go all morning. You schedule some things in the afternoons. It's a regular full-time job.
And how many
you do search warrants 24/7. I'm signing judge this week, so I've been signing search warrants like crazy.
How many hours a week do you put into this particular judgeship?
Regular full-time 40-hour week.
40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Because some judges, when I have them on the air, they're telling me they're doing 50, 60 hours a week. They're there at 6 o'clock and they leave at 7 o'clock at night. And when I sent out the email saying that you were going to be on the show, I had a couple emails came back and they're telling me that you don't do a full 40-hour week job.
We do, and I think the judges who might say that they do 50 or 60, you know, if you're a district court judge with a civil assignment, there's a lot of preparation before they take the bench. There's a lot of pleadings to read and everything. In justice court, that's not the case.
What do you got to say to those folks that say that Judge Zimmerman does not do a 40-hour week or better sitting on the bench or being a judge?
Well, I mean, not all of our work is done on the bench. Some of our work is done in chambers. If you take matters under advisement, you got to write a decision. Okay. So
I understand that, but what they're saying that you're just not there a full 40 hours a week. You're not even in the building. What do you got to say to those folks? Because this is an opportunity. These are one of these things that go around when people are running for office. Everybody throw allegations out there.
And here's things there. And,
so, Judge Zimmerman, we're giving you an opportunity to squash those rumors or innuendos that are basically being traveled around the courthouse and sent to me saying that Judge Zimmerman does not do a 40-hour week job.
Well, I don't think they know everything that I do. And, you know, people say that about justice courts and muni courts throughout our community. Those rumors have been rampant for years. But people, when they say that, are just saying we don't see those judges on the bench 40 hours a week. And that may be the case at any given time, but, you know, we have work to do in chambers. We have committees that we serve on. I sit on the Standing Committee for Judicial Ethics and Election Practices. I sit on the Indigent Defense Commission. I do a lot of work with respect to my drug court, outside of drug court. So they might say they don't see me on the bench 40 hours a week, but we're working 40 hours a week.
You don't share a courtroom with another judge, do you?
I did last year. I don't this year. Last year I shared the entire year with Judge Conrad Hafen.
And what do you think about that sharing process? Do you think it's confusing to the public?
No.
No?
No, I really don't.
Because I'll tell you the truth. I was out there looking for Judge Ellsworth because according to our bylaws, a member or at various time has to sit in a judge's courtroom that are going up for election. And I had a hard time finding Judge Ellsworth's courtroom because she didn't have one.
She does not.
You see what I'm saying?
But if you check in with the information desk downstairs, they should be able to tell you exactly where you can find Judge Ellsworth.
I finally figured it out, but I was just a little bit upset that she didn't have her own courtroom that I could just walk in there and just watch her in action, you know?
Well, let's change everything to fit your...
Yeah, I think they should. They should, Karen Steelman.
Just to please you.
We don't have enough courtrooms in the courthouse for every judge to have a courtroom.
Is that a problem?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
At least Judge Zimmerman agrees with me, Karen.
No, I'm taxpayer advocate.
No, I think
put them in a tent.
Every judge should have their own courtroom. And you know, I remember for years when Judge Vaughan was at the Phoenix building. Hell, he didn't even have a metal detector, and people were just walking right in there. I'm like, Judge, are you kidding me? You don't have a metal detector? You don't know what kind of PTSD veterans are going to come through.
Steve's going to be upset one day and walk in and have to show you something.
That's a huge security risk if there's no metal detector.
Yes. Judge, do you have a personal trainer?
Yes, I do.
What's your personal trainer's name?
It is Steve Esteban.
Huh?
Steve Esteban.
Steve. Do you know a gentleman by the name of Greg Kelly?
No.
Or Gregory Kelly?
No.
Okay.
Why?
All right. Well, I won't even bring that up because there was some rumors going around about this Greg Kelly that was your personal trainer.
Personal trainer was Esteban Estrada, Steve Estrada, but he moved back to New Mexico.
And how long he's been your personal trainer?
He was my personal trainer for a couple of years, but he left last summer to go back to his ranch in New Mexico to help his parents, and he hasn't been back since.
You see that's why I like to talk to the source when I talk about these things, because this Greg Kelly was going around saying that he was your personal trainer and he had a case in front of you, and you never recused yourself or notified the defendant, because he was the plaintiff, notified the defendant that you even knew him and you went along with the case and you ruled in his favor.
I don't even know who he is.
That's what I thought, Judge. That's why I like to, squash some of these rumors and allegations that are going around. And sometimes if you don't squash them, you could even ask Stan Vaughan sitting over there, that they become reality and people start believing it, and they won't vote for a certain person because of these different things.
And that's my peeve with people.
Yeah. But I see you brought your son Forrest in the studio with you.
Forrest is in the studio.
Well, let's take a commercial break and we'll be right back. This is Steve Sanson and Karen Steelman with Veterans in Politics and Judge Ann Zimmerman.
See ya.
Veterans in Politics takes a proactive approach to provide you, the veteran, with the political voice for which you fought and served.
Veterans in Politics is becoming the premier veteran organization of the 21st century, with political candidate interviews, insight, and endorsements.
Public speaking engagements in support of American values.
Radio shows to keep you updated on the latest in veteran and military support operations.
Providing job placement and business support.
Go to veteransinpolitics.com today and do your part in defending liberty.
The sound of On Wheels Now, every Tuesday at 6 p.m.
If you like cars,
the smell of gasoline and rubber,
or just love motorsports and auto racing,
On Wheels Now is your inside look at local motorsports.
So don't miss the action.
We'll keep you in the loop with the latest local racing news.
We're race car drivers too, so join me, Michael,
and Mike, Tuesday at 6 p.m. Find us at onwheelsnow.com.
Americans have been fooled by politicians about illegal immigration. They make you think that if you bring up this topic, you are a racist. Did you know that America is the only country on this planet that does not enforce its federal immigration laws? For the fear of being called a racist. I am for legal immigration. I was born on the island of Jamaica, became an American citizen, served 12 years in the U.S. military, served in Desert Storm, and received a Presidential Unit Citation, National Defense Medal, and Marine Corps Commendation. Our immigration laws serve a purpose. I understand that this country was founded on immigration, but there is a wrong way and a right way. I'm here to tell you that illegal immigration is breaking our federal laws. Why don't you call me a racist? This is Steve Sanson.
Sweet Cheeks with the curvaceous bounty of Sin City. In this election year, knowledge is power. Know the issues, know the candidates, and remember to vote. Your vote is your voice. And besides, you get a really cool sticker.
We're back. This is Steve Sanson, Karen Steelman with Veterans in Politics. We have Ann Zimmerman, Las Vegas Justice of the Peace, and her son.
Forrest.
Forrest what?
Zimmerman.
Forrest Zimmerman. Forrest, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 14 years old in 8th grade at the Meadows School. And
you do go to Meadows. I was just saying that as a joke.
He did.
I was right.
That's funny.
You go to Meadows?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about Meadows.
Well,
because they say the school system in Clark County really stinks.
Yes, I think it does.
So have you ever been through the school system in Clark County?
Well, he goes to it right now. Oh, Meadows.
Meadows.
That's right.
So, all right, tell us a little bit about Meadows.
Well, it's very challenging, and but it's a great school, very nice campus. Yeah.
How are the staff?
The staff, they're awesome. All the teachers are. The board of directors has very high standards for the teachers, and so they're all really.
What are their standards for the students?
Very high.
Also very
What are your
high.
grades like?
A's and B's.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's your goal in life? Do you know what you want to be?
No, I have no idea yet.
All right, well, it'll come.
Or it won't. I'm 43. I still don't know what I want to be.
Yeah, Karen hasn't grown up yet. She has not.
That's why I hired a personal trainer.
That his name is Ken Wagner. I got that. So, this must cost a lot, huh, Judge Zimmerman? How much is tuition for Meadows?
For high school, it's $22,750.
The whole 4 years, right?
1 year.
Wow.
22,000.
Did you hear that, taxpayers?
You said $750, and that doesn't include uniforms and do you wear uniforms, Forrest?
Yes.
Forrest, can you tell us real quick why your mom should be a judge?
I want to know why your mom's invested so much money into you every year.
Stop it. We're talking about judges. Quit it.
He's worth every penny.
Wow. Are you the only child?
Yes.
Oh, that's probably another reason.
That's why.
She's spoiling you really, really, really bad for us.
If you had a little brother or sister, they'd be in Clark County High School or Clark High School or something.
Yeah, busting in the yellow bus. But why do you feel your mom should hold this position of judge?
Well, I mean, she just loves what she does, and so I'm fine with whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, so I think she should do it.
Does your mom ever talk about veterans coming back from the war?
Not really that much.
You don't talk about that with your son, Judge Zimmerman? Veterans coming back from the war, suffering from PTSD, can't adapt into society and get into a little bit of scuffle.
Like Steve.
With the law, like dropping their weapon, these things happen.
Threatening John Ralston.
Well, Forrest participates with me every year in the Help USA program we do every year with the Clark County District and Justice Court employees, where we adopt veterans. So every year he goes shopping with me and delivers gifts to the veterans.
Are you gonna help the district court push that veterans court? I was with Judge Mark Stevens in Muni in Henderson. He graduated the first person out of his program, the veterans court program. I think it was Thursday. Is when I was up there, and they're really, really adamant about veterans court up there. And he was a little disappointed, and so is the rest of us, that the district court does not have that program.
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think, because I might disagree with you, that it might be better to have it in justice court in justice court than district court, because most criminal cases stay in justice court?
Okay, so what happened if they're in district court? Would they lower it down to a lower court? Because the reason why I ask you that is because in Henderson, Justice of the Peace Court, I believe it was Judge Burr or Judge George, one of them, or was it Judge Gibson? They had a matter, and because they didn't have the Veterans Court and Justice Court in Henderson, they lowered it down to the Muni Court and gave it to Judge Stevens to handle. Do you see that with district, that they would lower it down because JPs are lower than the district court?
No,
right?
and they are, but all the felony cases start in justice court, so you're going to address the veterans issue before they go to district court.
Okay.
I think that would be better, but I do agree with you that there needs to be a veterans court somewhere.
And we're trying to change We're going to change We're not going to try. We're going to change legislation to make NRS 176 more as you say, clear exactly what we want the law to reflect for the veterans.
Right.
So we're going to do that. That's why we're meeting with all these assembly candidates and assembly folks, the state senate, to make sure that law gets changed.
Well, I know Judge Tobiason's trying to convert her veterans calendar into a full-fledged funded veterans court, but I think district court and justice court need to get together and decide where it's going to be. If the decision's made that it's better in district court, that's fine. But everybody needs to communicate and decide where's the best place for it.
Because North Las Vegas, Muni NJPs are telling me that they move all their veterans over to Tobiason's courtroom.
Correct.
Because they don't have an established veterans court within their jurisdiction. Which I told them that maybe they should start one, because I don't want the veterans to all of a sudden get confused, and they're in North Las Vegas, now they're over here in Las Vegas, and they're already suffering enough with certain of them that has TBI or PTSD, and you just don't want to put more stress on them.
Are you familiar with Veterans Village?
No.
It's on the corner of Charleston and Las Vegas Boulevard South. I've just learned about it recently, so I was going to ask you about it if you'd heard about it.
No, I have not.
It's, a housing program that also provides comprehensive services.
Okay.
My friend Arnold Stock was telling me about that. Do you know him?
They were in the parade, weren't they?
Doesn't ring a bell.
They were in the Veterans Day parade. Yeah.
And they were,
some of these folks I know, I recognize by face, but not by name.
Well, and they were also in the stand down for veterans this week. They were there also.
So Forrest tells me he wants to go to the Marine Corps when he gets out on Meadows. Is that right, Forrest?
That would be a great place for him.
Is that true?
Maybe.
Run, Forrest, run!
So, Forrest, do you have anything else you wanna say on behalf of Mom running? Are you officially on her campaign, or?
Yeah, I guess
worry about going to school, right? You don't care about none of that political stuff.
Well, $22,750 every single year, Forrest. Think about that. Do the math. See how much money Mom put invested in you already. You must have a really, really high life insurance policy. I know I would have put like a $6 million policy.
So, Ann, could you tell us real quick why is it you wanted to become judge, and do you think you're fulfilling that desire?
Well, I originally ran in 2000 because I wanted to serve the community, and over the years I've just really grown to love the job. One of the things that I'm working on right now that I am passionate about is I volunteered to preside over drug court for the past 3 years, and helping people overcome their addictions and mental health issues is much less expensive than incarcerating them.
Right.
And if you help them overcome those problems, and they're not out committing more crimes in the community, so it's a win-win for everyone. It's a win-win for the community. It helps reunite families, and we're spending less money on jail space.
How much a day is to incarcerate someone?
In the Clark County Detention Center, $150 a day.
Wow. Okay.
And what would you say to people who look at our justice system as corrupt or inept, or people don't appear in court just because out of fear, because they feel like some judges don't give them a fair shake, don't listen, and pass down judgment without considering, that they're human beings whose lives are going to be totally and completely changed by your decision? What would you say to those people?
Well, no justice system is ever going to be perfect because humans are running it. But the judges that I sit with in Las Vegas Justice Court, I feel like everyone's trying to give people a fair shake. You got to consider each case individually. We're trying to help people if it's their first time. If they're done really something bad, then they need to be punished. But you got to make that decision. Is this a person who deserves a break, or is this a person who deserves to be punished?
Okay.
So you got to listen to each case individually.
Well, Judge Zimmerman, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, and Forrest Zimmerman, want to thank you as well. Could you give us your contact information, maybe your campaign website? So
I will. That'd be great. Thank you for inviting me.
Go ahead, give campaign material.
It's Committee to Re-elect Judge Ann Zimmerman. The address is 7121 West Craig Road, number 113-133, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89129. You can also find me on Facebook at Re-elect Judge Ann Zimmerman. And my email address is judgezimmerman@aol.com.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
That's Judge Ann Zimmerman, Las Vegas Justice of Peace, with her son Forrest. This is Steve Sampson, Karen Steelmon with Veterans in Politics. Don't go away, folks. We got Stan Vaughan, the Independent American Party congressional candidate for Nevada's 1st Congressional District.
Hey, listen up. If you're a military veteran, if you're related to a veteran, or if you know a veteran, you'll enjoy the Veterans Reporter radio show every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. with me. I'm your host, Chuck N. Baker. Every week, we will explore veterans issues, and we'll have guests who will talk about topics of interest to and about the veterans community. And if you don't listen, you'll have to give me 20 push-ups.
Hey you, this is Vince here on the Talk with Vince show, where no subject is off the table. We'll explore the depths of your mind. Spirituality, we talk it. Enlightenment, we talk it. Politics, we talk that too. Ufology, you want it, you got it. Conspiracy facts, we're on it. Sex, we talk it. So join me every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. for Talk with Vince here on VegasAllNetRadio.com. Talk that will blow your mind.
Join Alexia, Sierra, Calypso, and Sweet Cheeks for a no-holds-barred show on VegasAllNetRadio.com, the curvaceous bounty of Sin City, where we talk about dating, love, life, and sex. Tune in Sundays from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Are you brave enough? The curvaceous bounty of Sin City. Visit us at SinCityBounty.com.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Veterans in Politics International. The Veterans in Politics mission is to teach, educate, organize, and awaken our veterans and their families to select, support, and vote intelligently for a better world, and to protect ourselves from our own governments and a culture of corruption, and to be the political voice for those in other groups that do not have one.
There are too many homeless veterans, and more help is needed from the VA. Every veteran service organization post should adopt a local homeless veteran.
The funding of VA medical centers is inadequate, and building a VA hospital in southern Nevada is moving at a slow pace. The budget has been flatlined for too many years. The VA is too quick to deny claims and too slow to help veterans gather records in support of claims.
Local politicians ignore veterans and their issues. They perceive a lack of organization among their local veterans, and that it won't hurt them at election time. Veterans too often vote party, not veteran issues. All veterans should vote in every election.
The news media give inadequate coverage to veteran issues and events. You must send letters to the editor and voice this concern.
Please contact your members of Congress and Senate and urge them to co-sponsor key legislation in supporting our veterans.
Please support Veterans in Politics. And to get more information, go to www.veteransinpolitics.com.
This is Jim Jonas asking you to listen to Veterans in Politics. Veterans in Politics is a weekly broadcast internet talk show hosted by myself, Jim Jonas, and Steve Sanson, president of Veterans in Politics Incorporated, that airs every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. at www.vegasallnetradio.com. Veterans in Politics' sole purpose is to teach, educate, and inform veterans on issues and the candidates that will affect them. Too many politicians say they support veterans and their issues, but their actions tell a different story. Here at Veterans in Politics, we will expose these politicians by giving them a chance to come in and explain their actions to veterans so veterans can truly make informed decisions. Listen every Saturday to stay informed and to hold politicians accountable for their votes.
Hello?
Your mic is off. This is who turned my mic off?
I don't know who would do something
like that. Are you
like
trying to embarrass me? This is Steve Sanson, Karen Steelmon with Veterans in Politics. We have Stan Vaughan, who's the independent American Party congressional candidate for Nevada's 1st District. Stan.
Thank you, Steve.
Stan, you've been on the show before.
Yes, I have.
Okay, we don't need to talk to you anymore. All right, that's it for. Could you give us a little bio about yourself, Stan?
Thank you, Steve. Yes, I'm a 27-year resident of Las Vegas. I've been here for a long time, been involved in politics a long time. This is my 8th run, but the first time I'm running for U.S. Congress, and I was found out that I'd been nominated. I wasn't even at the convention, and found out the next day. They called me and said they wanted me to run. They needed somebody that could go toe-to-toe and actually beat Dina Titus for the U.S. Congress 1 race.
But don't you have a Republican candidate in there as well?
There are 5 Republicans in a primary that they won't know which one of these people are going to be running until June.
Okay. So why do you? Let me ask you this: how many IAPs are actually sitting in the House right now?
0.
Oh, so you want to make history?
Not so much that, but yes, it would make history. Yes, there was one other candidate that's not a Democrat or Republican. I think it was Bernie Sanders of Vermont, socialist, and he's just retired. So,
okay. So what's going to make you stand out above your opponents?
A lot of things. One is the experience that I have. I'm currently the WCF World Chess Champion, so I've done a lot of traveling around the world. I have a very good grasp with my backgrounds in history and political science and everything of knowing about foreign affairs. But this is a very unique district.
So let me stop you right there. So
okay.
you being a chess champion makes you a congressional candidate, makes you ready to run for
it does, because one of the things about chess grandmasters is they're very well known for their memory skills. And I think so many times you're familiar with people that says, I haven't read the bill. Well, guess what? I have that ability to speed read and read the bills, not just pass it off and get a summary from somebody else. But I'm known as a very hard worker. I recently, was able to do a lot of work on this campaign. I've already seen 17,000 people in this campaign. I've been going and meeting people. Just today, I've been at restaurants and gas stations and different places, and I'm meeting a lot of people, and I'm registering people. We have more independents. We have 11,000 more independents than we do Republicans in this particular district. So I think the Republicans are going to be somewhat irrelevant. This is a head-to-head race between the Democrat and the independent in this particular district.
Because of the redistricting.
Because of the redistricting, yes. And because of the fact that I'm a former Democrat, I only need to get 26,000 Democratic votes away from Dina Titus for me to win the race.
Why were you a Democrat?
I was a pro-life Democrat, so you can see why that I got kind of pushed out of the party.
Why were you a Democrat?
Well, he was a pro-life Democrat.
Could you just answer the question?
Is there such a thing as a pro-life Democrat, though?
Well,
there's such thing as anything in America. I just want to know why he was a Democrat.
Well, I was a Democrat. I mean, if you look at my family history, I'm from the South, very traditionally.
So you're a Confederate?
Yeah, my great.
You believe in slavery? Stan?
No. My great grandfather was the last Confederate general to surrender a month after Lee. And he was the Democratic president of the Tennessee Senate after the war.
So you were a Democrat because of family?
Family,
You
yes.
were born into it?
Yes, exactly.
What made you decide to become a Republican?
I'm not a Republican.
Oh, I
would never be a Republican.
That's right. I'm sorry. You're independent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we don't know about you.
That's why I'm here today.
Right.
Keep on your toes.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to become to say no to all these and be independent?
Well, basically, I left the Democratic Party because of Dina Titus.
I thought the Democrat Party left you.
It took that long to figure it out?
Yes, they did. You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right there. And if you look at it, they started leaving. They say that they're for the working families and things like that. I used to work for the post office. Was part of a union. But they take people for granted, and especially if you're looking at what's going on. Both parties do, but especially this is a 43% Hispanic district. It was redistricted with the idea it was designed for Hispanic congressmen.
That's right.
And if you look what she did to Ruben Cajun, and just muscled him out of that. As I've talked to different newspapers, Spanish newspapers, Latin, different chambers of commerce, and more particularly the businesses that are right there. Right down my street there on Eastern and DI and all the way up and down, I'm finding these people they feel like she takes them for granted.
So let me ask you something. I was told by several folks that the Democrat likes to push these social programs to keep people down and have them rely on a program instead of going on their own and become entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And to buy their votes.
And I absolutely agree. I am very much against. My number one issue is to repeal Obamacare, because if you look at this, and she voted for that, and she was in a district where 60% of the voters said we don't want this. Well, what happened? A doctor ran against her, and she's out. She also voted for cap and trade. That's going to cost the average family coming up in a couple of years here $3,000 more in energy costs.
That's right.
The working families of my district here, mostly a lot of hardworking, little small mom and pop businesses up and down Eastern there and everything, they can't afford these increases. And so I'm just finding out that, I'm going to be there to represent them, possibly a caretaker till they get somebody with the social background the same as theirs, a Hispanic congressman or whatever. There's a Hispanic congressman, a guy running for the Republican nomination, who's a school teacher.
Well, my biggest complaint with politicians and politics is that politicians don't seem to be at all interested in our country and the founding principles.
Absolutely.
And perpetuating those.
And
they're interested in winning.
Yeah.
And they forget they're here to serve us. And I was talking to, I had a guy on my show the other night, and one of the first things out of his mouth was he wants to start this program and start that program. And I'm thinking, we already have established our will with our Constitution and our laws. Why do you want to shove more stuff down our throats?
Yeah,
start a foundation, but don't change the laws.
Yeah, when I was a Democrat, I was always trying to get the Democratic Party back to where it should have been, which is, I find it so hilarious that they have Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson dinners. Andrew Jackson would have gotten rid of the Fed, like Ron Paul.
Right.
And Thomas
Wasn't Andrew Jackson the first time in our history that we didn't have a deficit?
No, it was Jefferson got rid of the IRS. Got rid of the IRS and got rid of the deficits. And Jefferson was a small, limited government person. And it's just ludicrous. I mean, they are not Jeffersonians. They're not Jacksonians. And that's where I was always trying to push the Democratic Party back. Eventually, you just realize that it's not possible.
We just need to get rid of both parties, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I'm finding. I'm finding more and more people. When you've got more independents than Republicans in a district,
something should tell you something.
Start telling you something.
Could you tell the folks what's the beliefs in the IAP, the Independent American Party?
The IAP is really it's like the Tea Party. Okay, we believe in limited government. Okay, the federal government should be nothing but our foreign affairs. We should be there that if we're threatened,
and protectors,
and that's what we're talking about. We should be, and that's one of my big issues in this thing right here. You're taking a look that. In the middle of a war, Dina Titus votes against military appropriations. And you can't have that.
Explain a little bit about military appropriations. Everybody
well, this is for the things that you need to run a war.
Right.
And not only that, but this particular bill had $13.3 billion for Vietnam-era victims of Agent Orange, leukemia, Parkinson's disease, and things like that. Dina Titus voted against it.
So you're saying she's anti-veteran?
She's anti-veterans. All right, she's anti-veterans, and I try to get the issue across right here.
I think, most politicians, she's not as anti as she is pro herself.
That's exactly it, and I keep saying that right there. Once again, shows that her primary concern is herself.
And another issue I have with politicians is running against each other. You shouldn't really, this is my opinion, you shouldn't be as concerned with her and what she's doing or any other politician. You should be concerned with me. I'm the one that's got your vote.
Actually, yeah, I should be concerned with the voters in the district, and that's why they chose me, because of my knowledge of constitutional. I'm basically an anti-federalist, so I'm going to try to keep things very lean. But you're not lean when you're fighting a war.
And how can folks get a hold of you, Stan?
StanVaughan.com. Very easy. StanVaughan.com.
Well, Stan, I appreciate you coming on the show and expressing your platform on this congressional race. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Steve.
That's Stan Vaughan, who's the Independent American Party congressional candidate for Nevada's 1st congressional district after the redrawing of the lines. This is Steve Sanson and Karen Steelmon with Veterans in Politics.
Have a great weekend.
But next week, folks, we have Lou Roberts, retired Las Vegas Metro, and looks like Mosley. Lisa, what was that? Lersa?
It says Lisa. Laysa.
Yeah, Mosley, who was a Democrat candidate for Nevada's 13th district. This is Steve Sanson and Karen Steelmon with Veterans in Politics.
Have a good day.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee,